Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sherard Show. I'm your host, Sherard. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday, ladies and gentlemen. I hope your dreams came true and you made some money. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special show this evening. We have two entrepreneurs, gentlemen who are doing big things in the industry of group homes. We're going to be talking to them about how they're changing lives, as well as their group home masterminds that was founded back in July of 2024. This is a very interesting topic and something that's very dear to me. So we're honored to have these gentlemen on the show. We'll be talking to them momentarily. The Sherard Show is brought to you by Pure Essence Television, where you can see some of the greatest episodes of your life. Now trending: The Temptations, the Isley Brothers, Joe Montega, Jay Leno, Dionne Warwick, and all those are on the Pure Essence Television app. Just click on your monitor and you can see those and many more. And also, it's brought to you by iHeartRadio. If you missed this broadcast on television, you can also listen to it on iHeartRadio. Just click the link below and you can smile and drive. And then also, it's brought to you by my Rah Shoe Collection. The shoe collection where every dollar made for the shoe goes to the fight for the cure for lupus. So if you want to purchase a pair of these shoes, just click on the link there and you get us this much closer to finding a cure for lupus. Well, ladies and gentlemen, oftentimes you see on television nothing but negativity about what Black man didn't do, what he did, and all these horrible things that you see on the news. But I like to talk about great things that my people are doing, and we have two gentlemen who are doing some incredible things all over the world, starting off in the great state of Ohio. They started off the Group Home Masterminds, which is founded in July of 2024, where they change the reputation of group homes and they touch lives and help young people who are without parents to be able to do and grow and flourish in what they're doing. We have a gentleman, his name is Jermone. Jermone is on the show. Jermone M., welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for having us. I appreciate it.
It's an honor. Then we have his partner as well, Loidairious Hafford, who's on the show as well. Welcome. These gentlemen got some of the coolest hats. Welcome to the show, Loidairious. How are you?
Well, thank you for that.
We really appreciate you all. We're going to start off first with you, Loidairious. What was your inspiration behind starting a group home for people who are less fortunate?
I think it was well, I know it was my mother and my aunt. So since I was a little boy or whatever, I've watched them want to do this type of work within the church and whatnot, and saw them struggling with having the funds to open up a consistent young lady home and put that together. Saw them struggle with trying to get individual clients placed in the property. And it was just always something that stuck with myself and my brother. Like, one day when we get the opportunity, this is what we're going to do. And so when the opportunity finally presented itself to us, which was around the COVID period, we were able to jump on it. So we've been big on giving back, always been about that, allowing myself to share with the youth of today better routes towards things, especially the young man, which is what I do. I have group homes ages 7 to 21 with independent living. So we range from anywhere to behavioral, low IQ, autism, things of that nature. And our goal is just to empower those in our home to realize that you're more than just your trauma.
Very good. Now, Jermone, I'm going to start with you. Now, for all those who are watching, what is a group home, first and foremost?
So a group home is basically a facility where, you take residents who are placed in your care. You don't take like custodian, you're not take custody of these children, but they're placed there because they're either wards of the state or they have partial custody given to the counties in which they reside. And they place them in your home and you provide care for them, sort of like being their parents. They're there 24/7. You kind of staff the place 24/7. You're just responsible for their upbringing and care.
So now, what's the difference between a group home and an orphanage? Or is there a difference?
I don't think there's a big difference. I think orphanage is just like a name that they don't use anymore. Yeah, so you don't really hear the word orphanage too much more anymore. it's group home, and now they're phasing out the word group home and calling them quality residential treatment facilities. Is the new
Oh, now they're
word.
getting really
Yeah,
sophisticated.
yeah. Now
Wow,
they
very
got really
good, very good.
sophisticated. So yeah. Hmm.
So now, over the years, people, kids who've become ward of the state, they've been put into orphanages, group homes, and a lot of bad things have happened to them, from child molestation to crimes. You seem like they've become worse going in or coming out than they were going in. But what have you done to change that? And I'll start with you, Jermone.
So what we've done, first off, we took a trauma-informed approach. So training, training, training. We really try to create a loving, nurturing environment. And as we've seen, this problem has really been becoming worse as time progresses. So when we got into the group home space, it was really the idea of my wife and my mother-in-law, and they kind of pulled me into it because to start them here in Ohio, you had to have a college degree, and at that time when we started ours, I was the only one in the vicinity with a college degree. So so I kind of was drug into it, and then I kind of found out it was my calling along the way. So it's been awesome, but creating those loving, nurturing, environments for them kind of helps change the narrative about what you usually hear about group homes, in the public. So.
Very good. Now, Loidairious, what is typically the requirements for those who are watching? And this is, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, but for those watching, I know it's going to come up in a minute. There it came up right there. People want to know what's the requirements to get into your group home.
Well, you do not need to own a home, first and foremost. So as long as you're a landlord and you have an understanding of what you're placing on the property, I recommend with people get a long-term lease if you can't afford to purchase a home and start there. With a long-term lease, you can position your business to grow. And then over time, as you are able to fund something else, then you can get a property that you purchase. But you have to have a property. That property has to be fitted with your bedrooms for the maximum amount of kids that you must have. So all the bedroom necessities, the drawers, the linen closets, things of that nature, everything a home would offer. Only difference is we have an office area that we've separated out from one of the rooms, and we utilize that space for when case managers come in or therapists come in. And then that's also a place where we store their medicines and have those things locked up. So basically a home establishment equipped for a child. And in some states, they want you to have a sprinkler system, and others, they just want you to have the fire extinguisher and the smoke detector. So just depends on the regulations in your state, but that's about it.
Loidairious, you missed your calling. You should have been an attorney, because the question I was asking was, what's the requirements for someone who's watching to be able to get in your group home? Like,
Oh, to get in, to
yes, please
become a
forgive me
client.
if I didn't clear that up for you.
Well, I don't know if they necessarily want to become a client. It's usually based on trauma. So these are from children who have been neglected, they've been abused, their parents have some type of substance abuse and they've been taken from them. There's domestic violence in their home, murders, all types of traumas. The child has autism and it's too overwhelming for a single mother, and she can't do it on her own. So I've seen all type of crises and reasons for why a young man ended up in my bed at the group home.
Very good. Now, Jermone, when they do come, how long do they typically, can they stay or do they stay before it's time for them to leave?
Well, we at the group homes that we both operate, we deal with special need clients. So in those cases, they can stay to age 21. So he starts at age 7 to 21. Ours is 8 through 21. So as long as they within that range, they can stay.
Very good.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who just joined us, we're talking to two gentlemen who have started their group homes in the greater, is it in Dayton, Ohio?
Well, the ones that I ran was in Dayton. His is in Cincinnati. So we're both like about an hour. It's about an hour difference for those who are not familiar with Ohio. It's about 45 minutes to an hour apart.
Okay,
So,
very
yeah.
good. These are businessmen doing big things in that wonderful state of Ohio. They have the group home masterminds founded in July of 2024. Again, that's Jermone as well as Loidairious. We will be taking your questions momentarily. Believe you me, they're piling up on you all already. Now, my question to you, Jermone, you know, when it comes to group homes, like, you know, most time people think like alcoholism, you know, victims of incest, all kind of horrible things happen to them. But is this something that's paid by for the government, or how does the individuals who come there, how are they able to, you know, stay there in terms of pay?
Yeah, there's a lot of different funding sources. The most predominant is government funds, I would say. So, at least here in Ohio, the counties will take, custody of the children, place them with us, and the funds will come from the counties. But they also have options where it can come from like Medicaid, from insurance. You also have options where people might private pay. But the predominant funding source would probably be government funds coming from the counties, your local county. Yeah.
Very good. Now, Loidairious, what are some of the challenges you encounter owning a group home, especially when you know, say for example, you get 20 new people coming in. What's some of the challenges with dealing with different behaviors such as that?
Us, I would say the top that I'm hearing and that I deal with myself is staffing. I'm not sure what reports are saying about America and the job booming situation, but I don't agree with it. I, there's a crisis going on with employment in America, and so staffing is a huge part of that. So within a group home, you not only have to have well a specific group of staff, but well-trained individuals. We do a minimum of 54 hours of training a year. So with this being in the social services and healthcare sector, you have to have those combinations of trainings going on. So getting your staff up to par with understanding different traumas and behaviors and being able to de-escalate, that would probably be the largest problem that I see.
Very good. And what about for you, Jermone, for your group home? What's some of the biggest challenges you face?
I would say the exact same thing is having qualified staff. You can deal with some pretty difficult behaviors, and pretty, with children that have pretty long, list of traumas that they dealt with, and they might be as young as 8 or 9 years old. You know what I mean? And it's kind of rough, but it can be taxing on somebody working their 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day, dealing with that back to back. So staffing is definitely, I would say, the biggest challenge.
Very good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to ask Jermone, where did he get that White Sox hat? And then also we're going to be talking about they're coming and they're expanding on a big level. And we're going to be answering your questions, audience members. We're so excited. These gentlemen are doing big things and they're on the Sherard Show. We'll be right back right after this.
Here's an important message from the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center. If you have diabetes, you know the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce your pain right away. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. Call the U.S. Med Diabetes Solution Center to learn about this groundbreaking new CGM technology. If you have Medicare or private insurance, call to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. U.S. Med is the #1 rated supplier on Google and Facebook reviews. So call us right now to see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no cost. U.S. Med. Better service. Better care.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sherard Show. I'm your host, Sherard, for our Monday conversation with two gentlemen doing big things with their group home in the great Ohio area. In our last segment, we're talking about some of the challenges. Loidairious, you were mentioning there's another challenge you would like to talk about in owning a group home and dealing with various personalities and behavior situations.
Yeah, I was saying that outside of finding proper staff, I think the largest challenge is going on right now is the fact that people aren't paying attention. that challenge with the I guess the government and the way things are ran, and the fact that we don't realize that there is a huge opioid addiction, abuse, trauma situation going on in America, and our biggest impact is on our children. I mean, so it's not just those parents that are dealing with these type of issues, it's the child that they leave behind, because when you cause damage to yourself, you bring damage to the entire household, and you don't realize the impact you have on that little kid in the room who's about to be displaced. And so you literally get your child removed from your care. And now you're dealing with the foster care system. Now you're dealing with the adoption system. Now you're dealing with, more Medicaid, more food stamps. You know what I mean? Things people want to eradicate, but are needed because this child needs it. Now you're dealing with truancy problems because they're being displaced from their educational center. Or I mean, the list goes on, simply because it started here with the adults, but it trickled down and it affected our children. And they don't know how to emotionally and mentally handle some of these issues. And a lot of them bottle it up, keep it in, and they use behaviors to act out. I mean, and that crisis in America is just growing and growing. So we're watching that happen while these children are being displaced. I mean, there's not enough group homes in America. There's not enough support. There's not enough mentors. There's not enough in the foster care system to help them. Not enough in the education realm to help them. These schools won't let them in because of their behavior. So this is the environment of our society that we're creating, where our future leaders look like this child that was being neglected.
So now, and I appreciate that so much, an audience does too. It kind of adds to many more questions coming you all's way momentarily. Now, Jermone, when you look at what you do, for example, and we live in an age where you cannot physically discipline a child or someone, but that doesn't mean a situation doesn't call for it. But what do you do when you have someone that wants to fight the staff or wants to come after you all? How do you handle such situations?
So a lot of times, I mean, well, you have the option to be a restraint facility or a non-restraint facility. As a restraint facility, you can perform restraints if a resident is trying to harm another resident or harm themselves or a staff member. You can't perform a restraint. But like I said, our sector that we work in, with the group homes, are some of the most highly trained, highly regulated sectors, I would say, in America, almost. All the training and accreditation we have to go through. So after spending time with the children for a while, you start understanding the child's triggers. A lot of times the children don't go from 0 to 100. It's like 0 to 10 to 30 to 50. And usually if you stop it around 20 to 30, you can control the situation pretty easily. But, it takes a highly trained staff member to actually do that, which led to the problem that we talked about before of that's the biggest issue that we up against is finding staff members who are qualified and trained to handle it. So,
Very good, very good. All right, well, gentlemen, you ready for the questions from the audience?
absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right,
Bring 'em
buckle
on.
up, gentlemen. Here they come. All right. This first question is from Heather. She is from Baltimore, Maryland. She's saying this is a very unique topic that you all are talking about in the Sherard Show. She's so proud of you, gentlemen, doing big things. Her question is, where does the funding come from in order to keep you all afloat? Very good question, Heather.
Well, first of all, thank you, Heather, for the question. And then secondly, the funding is mainly provided by the federal government. So all of this, as Jermone was speaking, is typically within the Medicaid, Medicare, social services realm. So the federal government pays for certain programs, pays for your per diem, pays for their medical, dental, vision, all of those things that you can get by applying for. the income usually comes from that route. You get an NPI number from Medicare, and you can provide case management. You know, different therapies are expensed through that. And then there's also individuals who are capable of doing private pay. So that's typically how things work out.
Very good. Jermone, did you want to add something to that?
Oh no, he pretty much hit the nail on the head. I would say for ours, the main thing has been, like he said, the per diem. That, and for those who don't know what the per diem is, that's an amount that you get paid every day for a resident staying in your home. So if they spend a night in your bed that night in your home, then you get paid a certain dollar amount that y'all negotiate with the county or the custodial agency who places them in your facility.
Very good. Very good. I appreciate the answer and appreciate the question, Heather. This one is from Rachel. This is from Rachel Lewis. She's from Culver City, California. She's saying, how is it that two R&B looking singers have opened up a group home? She said you all look like R&B singers. What's the inspiration behind that? I'll start with you, Jermone.
Like I said, I think our journeys are definitely different, but my journey, I got here because of my wife and her mom. My mother-in-law. So they were both in the social services field. I was in real estate. We didn't share our full story, how we, arrived here, but me and Loidairious met through real estate. We were real estate guys. And my wife and mother-in-law said, hey, let's open a group home. Let's figure this out. Like I said, they needed somebody with a degree. I had a degree. So that's how I got into group homes.
Now, I'll interject this for a minute. Now, Jermone, how long did it take from start to finish? Say, for example, you decided to do it today, January 13th. How long did it take you before you opened the doors to the group home?
Well, when we opened ours, so we opened ours in 2018. At that time, you could open it in 90 days. There has been some changes to legislation on a federal level to where at this point, it probably takes about, at least in Ohio, you're probably looking at about a 6-month time span from start to finish. And that could vary just depending on where you're out in the state, in the country. But yeah, so about 6 months, I would say.
Loidairious, the second R&B singer, did you want to add to that?
Well, for us, because well, let me just say we started off because of the inspiration from other family members attempting to open up women group homes, young girl group homes, and give back. So we didn't really want to get into the young lady group home niche because it's my brother and I know more about how to handle a boy. So I'm like, that's the realm we want to focus in. And so knowing Jermone, like you said, through real estate, we pretty much piggybacked off of their knowledge.
Very good. All right, we have time for one more question. And this is from Anderson. This is from Anderson Wilson. He's all the way in Dallas, Texas. He said, I've been thinking about opening up a group home myself. He said, how much funds do I typically need to get it started and to stay afloat? Let's start with you, Loidairious.
Well, I have a sister-in-law that has a residential treatment facility in Dallas. So it's not too much different from right here in Ohio. The home would be the biggest expense if you're purchasing it. If you're not purchasing the home, like I said, you're leasing it, then you can get donations as a nonprofit organization for your bedrooms and bathrooms and offices. You can literally fill up the home like Jermone and I did for hardly little out of pocket because there are organizations that are giving back. You can limit your expenses by going to garage sales, things of that nature, and buying furnishings for the place. So it just depends, one, on your creativity. I mean, you can create ways to put in position the home and the things that you need and make it work. You know what I mean? But if you're just looking for a dollar amount from an investor, I would say $20,000 to help you also at the end of your furnishing and getting the home up and going, have staff with you and be able to pay employees. You know what I mean? Would probably be around my take.
Very good. Jermone, did you want to add to that?
Nah, he pretty much hit the nail on the head. It's really up to the person and how creative you can be and how much work you want to put in. If you don't want to put in a lot of work, you got to pay more money. If you're willing to put in more work, you can do it for little to nothing. So
very good. Now, is there any way or anybody who's like, I see another question really quick, and just they were asking, they're thinking about starting a 501c3. Do you have anyone they can speak to? They want to do this in Chicago that can help them along. Any questions they may have?
yeah, absolutely. So on our team, we have an accountant who can get you open, all that good stuff. So yeah, we definitely have someone on our team who can assist you. The group home mastermind team. So that's what we do. We help you from start to finish to open your group home. So yeah, we definitely have somebody who can assist you with that.
Very good. I really appreciate you all's questions. We do not have time to get to all the 10,000, but where can they reach out to you, Jermone, where they can be able to email or social media, et cetera, to further their questions and also to help you to assist them in opening a group home?
Yeah. There's actually two websites. So Group Home Masterminds with an S at the end.com. So grouphomemasterminds.com. That's our basic website where you can go on. We have chat boxes where you can, email us directly and leave messages, comments, things like that. But we also have a 3-hour webinar that we have coming up in the month of February, where it's like a crash course workshop where we take you the whole group home opening process in one sitting. And to sign up for that, you want to go to grouphomemastermindsworkshop.com. So group home
It's right there in your
masterminds.
monitor. Very
Yeah,
good, ladies and gentlemen.
workshop.com. Yeah, you go there and and you'll be able to sign up and we'll teach you how to start to finish, how to get this thing done.
Very good. We really appreciate that and appreciate you all stopping by on the show. We'll start with you, Loidairious. Any final thoughts?
No, just thank you for having us.
We really appreciate you stopping by. You're very welcome. Jermone, any final thoughts?
Man, we appreciate you having us here once again. Let's try to do something for these children in the system and make it a better place for them.
These men are starting off 2025 on a great and positive note, changing lives, helping people to be better when they leave than when they came in. Really appreciate them. Make sure you follow them on Facebook, subscribe to the Sherard Show on Pure Essence Television Network, as well as on Airy TV, and then also download the Pure Essence Television Network app. This broadcast will be airing again on Saturday, this coming Saturday as well. So you can see millions of people can come and see these gentlemen doing big things. Make sure you support what they're doing. And then join us on our next episode of the Sherard Show, where we have the legendary Mike Tyson as well as Michael Spink stopping by the show. And then we also have some huge surprise stopping by, an R&B artist. You don't want to miss this. For the gentlemen, for doing big things from Group Home Masterminds and the Sherard Show. You always remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to soar with the Eagles, stop hanging around turkeys. See you next time. Bye now.